Welcome to Live Devotions. I'm Robert Mosbach. The disciples said to Jesus, "Teach us to pray, O Lord." And Jesus said, "Pray in this manner." In Psalm 32, verse 6, it says, "For this cause, everyone who is godly shall pray to you in a time when you may be found." You know, it is a godly thing to pray or simply to communicate. I remember a good friend of mine who is a phenomenal man of God. He called me some years ago and he said to me, "Robert, every wheelchair is empty. Everybody got healed who came to the meeting." I said, "Wonderful, wonderful." He said, "On my way home, I was praying to God and I said, 'Lord, what must I do to keep seeing these miracles for people?'" And I was anxious to know what the answer was. He said, "You know what the Lord said to me?" I said, "What did he say?" He said, "Just keep talking to me." And I believe that we got to keep the flow of miracles to our life, or just simply, what does that mean? The flow of God's anointing, God's Spirit, God's power. We need to keep that flow open in our lives by staying in communication with Him. And I think this is common sense. This is nothing super spiritual or so. This is just common sense, because if we want to have a good relationship with somebody but never communicate, then that is not the best. We need to remember to take time to talk together, to call each other, to communicate in some way or another. And the same is true with God. And we can do that in the car, we can do it at home, we can do it wherever we are, that we find time to talk to God, to pray. It is a godly thing to pray. All those who were great in God's kingdom that we read about in the Bible were men and women who spent time in prayer, and sometimes prolonged times. You know, one night I woke up at 2:30 in the morning and I thought, "Oh wow, 2:30, I still have a whole night to sleep." And it just came up in my heart to go pray. And I thought, "Oh, I want to sleep." And my own heart said to me, "How much do you want it, Robert?" And the moment that thought came to me, I went down to my place of prayer on the sofa and I opened my Bible and read a little while and began to pray. And you know, 3 hours later, the time just flew. I just thought to myself, wow, I forgot what it feels like. To pray for an hour or two is kind of normal to me. But when I had prayed that much longer, it tasted so much better. Certain things I don't think will taste as good unless you get enough of it. And the same is with prayer. The more you get of it, the better it tastes. The more satisfying that is, the more fulfilling it is. Jesus spent whole nights in prayer. And one place in the Bible that is quite a powerful place in the Bible, we read about that Jesus was transformed and that his heavenly glory manifested in his earthly body. But that is when he spent time in prayer on top of the mountain. And when James and John and Peter saw his appearance, that he was glorified, heaven was open to them. They saw Moses, Elijah, and they saw the glory of God, and God speaking from a cloud, "This is my son, in whom I'm well pleased. Listen to him." And these disciples had an experience in their life that lasted for all their days, because they saw what was possible with God if we spend time in prayer. Friends, we haven't seen anything yet until we start spending time with God in prayer more. I want to encourage you today. Take time to pray. The more you do it, the more it will bless you, and the more it will help you find God's resources for living and have a phenomenal, blessed life.